Fellow Toastmaster, dear guest, good evening. It has no color, no taste, no smell. And yet, in a hot, humid day, water becomes the most delicious drink the human being have ever known. Why? Because its value not in its taste, its value is in the need. Relief feeling work in the similar way. Usually we don't even notice it, but when fear grips our chest and panic steals our breath, relief became the sweetest feeling on earth. And it's beautiful how our mind can take a normal feeling and turn it into one of the best feelings ever, just because we went through its opposite. I experienced this in the past. I used to work in Jazan city in the southern region in the kingdom. Beautiful place and the kind people, but the weather is quite different. Summer is hot, humid, rainy, nothing special, and then sandstorms never ask for permission before storming your life. It was a Wednesday when my friend Hani called me. Hey Muhammad, I have a job interview in Jazan on Sunday, but I booked my flight ticket on Thursday, so I can spend the weekend with you and see the city. I told him, great, just call me when you land. But there was one problem. I had a flight on that same weekend, one I couldn't cancel. So he arrived, I picked him, I gave him the key to my apartment. I told him, my home is your home, relax, chill, practice your interview, all under one condition. Do not forget to feed Nemo. Nemo was my tiny fish, a serious relationship, by the way, and was my only responsibility at that time. Then I left. On Friday, I called to check in. Honey's voice was weak, like someone is coming down with the flow. I worried, because I know, since we were kids, Hani had a permanent asthma. Something could be triggered at any time for different reasons. And in Jazan, sandstorms were always a risk. Later on Saturday, I returned. The moment I reached my apartment, my stomach dropped. The door was wide open. Inside, it looked like a desert. Sand covered everything. Covered the floor, the furniture, even the air felt heavy. And Hani gone. That's when fear hit me. What if sandstorm struck and he couldn't breathe? What if he collapsed alone, gasping for air? What if I was already too late? I called his phone, no answer. I called him again, still nothing. The silence grows while the sun is setting. My mind overwhelmed with dark thoughts. Every sound outside felt like a warning. A car passing, a light wind hitting the door. I kept listening for the sound of footsteps, for anything, but nothing. Then suddenly, the door cracked, and shadow stepped in. It was Hani, and behind him, a few workers from local company. Apparently that morning, Hani had forgotten just to close one window, and the sandstorm hit, and the home turned into desert. So he arranged with the cleaning company to clean the mess. They arrived nearby. He went out to guide them in, and in his rush, he left the door wide open. And at that moment, I arrived to my apartment. So he looked at me, smiled, and he said, "Oh, you're back." And then, with full, proud voice, until this day, I can see the pride in his eyes. He told me, "I didn't forget to feed Nemo." Come on, honey, what you are talking about? At that moment, all fear, all darkness, all what ifs turned into relief. And here is the truth. Fear is sharp but temporary. Relief is soft but unforgettable. And that's what made me always remember this simple story. Because at the end, life isn't about avoiding fear. It's about appreciating the relief that comes after. Fear shrinks the world to our worst imagination. Relief reopens the world to its opportunities. Fear reminds us how life fragile is. Relief reminds us how life is splendid and joyful is. So next time you find yourself in a silence after fear, don't just breathe, be grateful. Because that quiet moment of relief, it's the life itself. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster.